The female orgasm is a myth. What's up, bros, bears, muscle mommies, and everything in between? As always, this is Patrick, Full Primal Power, top 40 powerlifter of all time. The final week before the American Pro 3, the Super Bowl of powerlifting. What's up, everybody? That is a breath and a half worth of titles. I'm feeling like Daenerys Targaryen in that final season of Game of Thrones, except, you know, actually still cool. A little bit of a shame, but here we are. So it's the last week of training before the American Pro, so this is going to be a little bit of a longer video because I got a couple questions from some of y'all out there asking me where I'm at mentally going into the American Pro meet. It's meet week. Just ignore the fact that I completely disappeared. I know that you guys complain when I don't wear my seatbelt. There we go. So this whole video is going to be this week leading up to the American Pro. It is Sunday. What is today's date? The 3rd of November, I guess. And I'm just going to tie all these videos together in a single film. And I'll let you guys know how I'm feeling. So we are less than a week out. It is Sunday. I leave on Thursday. Thursday is when I start driving down to Winchester, Virginia, where my Airbnb is at. Friday we weigh in at 3:30, so I got to figure out what to do with myself until 3:30, and then, or not 3:30, at 3. Might start at 2:30, honestly, which is the best time to set yourself up a dentist appointment. 2:30. If you get that joke, make sure you tell me how many times you told your children before they laughed. But we weigh in, and I got to figure out what to do with myself after weigh-ins. And I know whatever it is, it's going to include pounding an entire bottle of Imodium, which is the powerlifter's secret brew to ensure good day of lifting. Because we like to manipulate our internal pressure a little bit. And a lot of times when we're playing with ourselves like that, we poop ourselves. So Imodium stocks you up and makes sure that you can't poop. It's powerlifters are basically just really large babies, because if someone's in the baby aisle picking up Pedialyte and baby wipes, are they a parent or are they a powerlifter and baby powder? You don't know. So, and then after that, we compete on Saturday at 3 p.m. in the main card, the main flight. Main card, main flight. Well, I mean, there's only one flight of wraps, so they don't even have an off card or a middle card for wraps. And I think there's only like 2 females, and I think they're also putting them in our flight, which is going to be a little bit weird. So I was just talking with my roommate a little bit while doing my pre-workout, and the chatter online is that there isn't going to be an American Pro 4, which would be very sad. I love the American Pro meets. They're run really well, but I think they need something that competes with ABS. And I think I saw something that they made singlets for us, but I haven't asked anyone because also I'm still in my social media hiatus, and I just didn't really feel like bugging anyone and be like, hey, did we get free singlets? Because that's very like, gimme the free stuff, please. And I don't want to be about that. So I'm going to pick up my singlet from the gym. After training today, I'm going to wash that up, which if you've been following me, none of you have been following me long enough to know about this. If you've competed with me, you know that I have worn the same singlet since 2016. And I had not washed it once. You can't wash out the PRs, you can't wash out the gains of a singlet. It's just, that is sacrilegious. That is blasphemy. So, my equipment sponsor, Move Weight, designed a new singlet I don't know if he had me in mind specifically, but there have been petitions to get me a new singlet, and people being like, can I just buy you a new singlet? And I'm like, I gotta earn one. I gotta earn one. The only way that I'm getting a new singlet is if a sponsor gives me a new singlet. I gotta earn one. And my coach was like, you're stupid. You know how much crazy shit you've done? You've fucking earned one. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not free. I was planning on designing a Dun Kings singlet modeled after the Dun Kings Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial from the Super Bowl, but I never got around to doing that. But the problem with the singlet from Move Weight is that the legs are too long. I have to hike up the legs in order to get my knee wraps on, because you can't have the singlet touch your knee wraps or knee sleeves or anything. That is against the rules, so I have to hike them up, which I don't like doing, and it gets really tight around my legs in not so fun ways. So if the American Pro made us singlets, that'd be super cool, especially if they have the knee wrapping or knee sleeve rule in mind and we don't have to hike them up. Then I would use that one for squats and deadlifts, and use my Move Weight one for bench, just so that I don't stiff my equipment sponsor on that little bit of PR that they would get from having their singlet on the largest. Is it the largest? So it's weird. The Sheffield and the American Pro are probably the two biggest powerlifting meets every year. It used to be Big Dogs and the Arnold, but it's kind of like a changing of the guard, because the Big Dogs didn't even get enough sign-ups or sponsors or something to hold their meet in the capacity that they've been wanting to, based on Facebook posts. So it's kind of like that meet is dying a little bit, and the American Pro didn't fill up its spots, so the chatter online is that the American Pro 4 is not going to happen. I don't know. But where are we at mentally? My oldest brother and his two sons, my nephews, are in town for the next couple days. They actually live like 30 minutes away from the meet venue, and usually every year at the American Pro, I spend an extra day or two just hanging out with them, because it's always in Virginia. I feel like if they change the venue, well, I mean, the venue is different this year than it has the past 2 years, but if they're making something different, another meet to compete with ABS a little bit more in place of the American Pro, then they'd probably change the state that it's in, because the meet directors are from Las Vegas. So it's kind of weird having a big meet on the East Coast when they're literally on the, not literally on the West Coast, but they're in that time zone, I believe. So it's always a long expenditure for them to put on the meet. Yeah. But mentally, where am I at? It really hasn't hit me that I'm competing yet. It hasn't. It's not really a reality yet for me. So I do have a little bit of stress going on. So my biomarkers are not super thrilled, but that's also because we're in the middle of a super compensation peak. So our immune system is going to be compromised, and literally anything can get me sick right now, and I'm probably a little sick as it is. If not, any other the things that I've been doing have been making me cough a little extra, or make me sweat a little more, or get me a little bit extra rowdy in the pants region, to the point where I get belly aches because I'm a little too excited. But other than that, we're I guess we're in a good place. And I was talking with my coach about like where I'm at. I'm like, it's almost like I'm calm. It's weird. It's nothing hurts. Well, right now the only thing that hurts is it wasn't quite dislocated, but it's like a displaced rib that I suffered from the 1041 reverse band squat. It's been almost a full week since that happened. And it's like it's getting 50% better every day. So like the first day it got really better, and then every day it got a little better, and less better, where things just compound, and it's like you go from half to a quarter to an eighth to a 16th. So kind of like that. So it's like, it doesn't really bother me unless I try to make it bother me. I'm worried that it's some sort of like bulging disc or like a herniated disc, but it's not in any of the bending positions on my back. It's like near the shoulder blades. So it's probably like a bulged disc or something. So I'm probably just going to have to PT my way through it. If it's not the rib thing, but my team's going to have a PT at the meet, and I feel like it's just going to take them to be like fixed. Because I've had something similar before, and it got fixed pretty fast. But we got pretty much everything sectioned out. We've got my handlers. I'm going to have multiple handlers. Shane Haller isn't coming out this time. He moved recently, and then he suffered an injury, so he's not flying out to the American Pro because of all the extra expenditures and stresses of those things going up. So I've got, I don't actually know the name of the guy wrapping my knees yet. Coming from Ego Barbell, I believe it's in Oregon? No. Washington, I think. Ego. The gym's owned by Sam Deason, so I hit up Sam Deason, was like, hey, do you have a guy? Because Sam is one of Joe's clients, and he's coming out to support the team, and he's bringing one of his homies out who's going to be rapping Sarah in an earlier flight, and then me later on. If we're in the same flight, it's going to be a little fucky. Anyways, so I got that. I got my buddy Sophie, who's going to be my snack bitch. Pretty much like a runner, basically, where if I forget my, if I need like a snack that I didn't bring over to my chair, like when you are competing, you sit in a chair and you do not exist in anything except for lifting. Anything you do that is not for lifting is something you are doing wrong. So when you are at a meet, you sit down in a chair, you bring all your snacks, your waters, your Gatorades, your Pedialytes, your this, your that, your everything, and you just vegetate. And then you stand up, you lift, you sit back down. Stand up, lift, sit back down. So if I forget something like a snack or something, when I'm lifting, or if I want a different snack that I didn't bring with me, I'd be like, hey, Sophie, please go grab that. And like, this is the only day or one of 2 days of the year where I actually accept myself being a burden on other people, because it's my day. I'm the center of attention for myself, and the people I brought understand that I'm going to be a little bit of a diva on the day. So Sophie's my snack bitch. And then I have Hunter Henderson acting as almost like my, I guess it's mental coach or hype girl, whatever. But Sophie she can't wrap my knees. She's a sleeve lifter. She's also 123. I don't think Hunter, I don't want to sound bad, but I feel like you can't have a good knee wrap from a female lifter. Not because they're not strong or anything, because Hunter's stronger than like 99% of the men out there. It's because you have to lean into it. You have to lean into parts of wrapping. And if you don't weigh enough, then you can't wrap as tight. And that's what I require from my knee wrapping. I can get 3 revolutions on my knees. If I can get someone who's going to put 6 on me, like, that requires at least, probably about 220 pounds worth of body weight that they can just lean into wrapping my knees. Hunter competes at, like, was it 165, 170 something? That's not 220, so she can't lean into it. Even though she has her own line of wraps, I'd rather have a heavier person who's going to wrap me too tight, which is just right. But she'll be giving me handoffs for bench. Oh, maybe. I haven't asked her about that yet, but I'm going to bring it up. And then she basically is going to keep me mentally focused through the rest of the meet, interspersed between ping-ponging off of Brianni and I, because Joe's like the coach. He's like the mob boss. He's like the Godfather in The Godfather. He currently has an injury, so he was going to wrap me, but he got an injury, so he can't really lean into wrapping as much because he could hurt himself even worse, which is why I always feel bad about having people wrap me, because it's a pain in the fucking ass. So we got all those people set up. I got my post weigh-in IV, which I'm not doing a water cut, but it's always a good idea to get an IV regardless, because you never want to be dehydrated. You never want to risk any cramping or anything on the platform. So IV it is. I got that set up. I got my Airbnb set up. I guess I need to sign up for my, what was it, PLU membership. I'm gonna do that. Stupid. Federation memberships are stupid, and I hate them, and they're unnecessary, but I gotta do it. So I am at the gym. I'm gonna train, and I'm probably just gonna overlay those videos on top of what I was just talking about. So yeah, that's where I'm at today, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow, which I believe is my last SBD day. I don't have the program yet, but I think that's what's going on. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, boys, we are one day closer to competing. It is Monday, September 4th? 3rd? Something like that. The last squat and deadlift day before we compete. And we're starting to feel it, boys. We're feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. So, let me explain where my head is at right now. So, my nephews are in from Maryland the past couple days. And I woke up because they were very loud early in the morning. So they woke me up early, which I was not happy about. Buddy was not happy about it either, because Buddy is actually a guard dog, apparently. He has designated himself as a guard dog, so every single sound that he does not recognize, he goes fucking ballistic over. So I only got about 7 hours of sleep. Yeah. And I actually got out of bed before my alarm went off. And so that's never good. When you get so grumpy with the world waking you up that you just roll out of bed before your alarm even pops off. And then I tried to let Buddy outside, but the upstairs dogs were outside refusing to go inside, and it was like 39 this morning, and I was just out there in my underwear, and I was like, Buddy, we're going back inside until these bitches go back inside. They're both female dogs. Yeah. I was not a happy camper this morning, but I got a cup and a half of coffee, 6 eggs, 2 English muffins with strawberry jam, and then, ooh, someone's smoking weed. And then I joined my nephews and my brother and my parents to go watch Wild Robot. Pretty good movie, pretty emotional movie, especially when you have accepted that you'll never have children of your own. Pretty decent movie. DreamWorks did it again with that one. I would highly suggest you watch it. I did not cry, and you're gonna believe that. We watched at the Chunky's movie theater, and everyone else got food. I just got a Diet Coke because it's not my cheat day, or I didn't have my cheat meal, and I wasn't gonna go off a plan just to have a subpar pub burger. But everyone was like, "Oh, the food was so good," and I'm like, I don't recall Chunky's ever having good food. But watching that movie finally put my head in the zone. It hit the emotions just right for me to tap into that mentality that I get as I get closer and closer to meat day. And I've got to make sure that I don't let that fish loose, if you get what I mean. It's like I've caught it, but I can't let it go, you know? And I can't really describe what it is, but I constantly just want to fucking scream my lungs out. And that's a good spot to be in. That is the intensity, and that's the intensity that I have to be at in order to do the shit that I'm gonna do. Like Sweet Burns once said, every lifter's goal in life is to get under a bar that can kill them. Motherfuckers, we're way beyond that. We are way beyond that. I remember taking 1,005 for the first time. I was laughing to myself because in order to get under something of that magnitude, you kind of gotta break your psyche. You can't have the word heavy in your vocabulary. You can't be sane. What fucking sane person goes, yeah, I could squat that? None. You gotta break yourself mentally. So like, I remember last year going into the American Pro 2, and I was like, I'm gonna do better than Justin because Justin Zottel is a head case. But his ability to tap into his emotions and aggression was why he had a better performance than I did. I out-totaled him by a hot margin. I took his third squat as my opener, but he went 3 for 3 on squats. I went 2 for 3 on squats. And he had a much better day than I did. And I have to basically relearn how to tap into that primal nature of myself. And watching the Wild Robot movie today kind of got me there. And then I got out of the movie and I checked my phone. I went to Walmart to pick up some eggs because my brother plowed through my 3 dozen eggs. Between 2 children under the age of 10 and my older brother, they just decimated all of my Fairlife fat-free milk and eggs and cheese supply. So after the gym, I'm going to have to go to Walmart. I have to get gas anyways, and the cheapest gas is right next to Walmart around here. But I have to pick up some cheese, some Fairlife fat-free milk, some more cereal, and I think that's about it. But I went to Walmart because I was thinking about buying a camera, a Kodak Pix Pro 545, I think is what I was looking at, and it's at Walmart for $179. And I was like, yeah, this is a good choice. And then I didn't know the name of the camera, so I was just going off of the online reviews. Now I'd walked past it in Walmart a couple times back when I was still employed, but I was like, I can't justify buying a camera if I make $0 on YouTube. Now I'm starting to make enough. I mean, I make enough. Yeah, I get a payout once every like 3 or 4 months of $100. It's not insignificant, but it's not paying the bills. But it's more than I would be getting otherwise, basically. And then I'm able to set monetary goals and be able to kind of change how I do things in order to tap into those certain goals and how to optimize my content for that purpose. And that purpose generally means understanding the human psyche and desires, and really dig into the more than just, hey, how do I get subscribers? Tap into, all right, I got the subscribers, I got the watch hours, how do I keep people on the videos long enough So I'm able to like have that motivation there, because a lot of YouTube channels, once they hit that monetized goal, they quit, because it takes a lot to get there. It takes a lot more than people expect to get there. But I got out of the movie, and I got a DM from Hunter Henderson. She says, "It's meat week." I'm like, yep, yes it is. Yes, ma'am. It is meat week indeed. So I was like, how's this conversation going to go? So I had the conversation with myself because I get nervous talking to Hunter, because there's literally nobody like her. There's only one Hunter Henderson. And it's like, a lot of people, I don't really care whether or not they stick around, because a lot of people are, it's going to sound conceited, but a lot of people are replaceable. And they're a dime a dozen. But Hunter's different, you know? How many people do you know that you're like, yeah, you can be a future Miss Olympia. You are the top 3 greatest female powerlifters of all time. Who can I talk to that isn't my coach, that isn't my competitor, and be like, here's where I'm at going into this meet, right? Remember the first meet you had, where you went from having idols to your idols idolizing you, to where you were just a good lifter, to people actually knowing and giving a shit about the numbers you have, where you are less nervous about the actual weight on the bar than you are disappointing the people who look up to you. It's a dynamic change, and it's a different way of looking at things. And it might just sound like potatoes, but it's a significant difference. And I'm lucky to be able to talk to people like Hunter and her actually understand, because there's very few people who've been in the position that I'm in, where I could potentially do something really cool. Do something potentially, if not getting legendary, being legendary. So not very many people are going to be able to have that little bit of idea ping pong and really get you zoned in and in the right mentality to be successful in that. Like, I remember talking with Dan Bell after the first American Pro. He was like, so many people out there are saying, all right, Andrew House is going to take Dan Bell's all-time world record. Dan was like, I don't think he's going to hit mid-25s. The amount of shit that has to go right, not just on the platform, but in training, is fucking absurd for you to hit a 2,600 total. There's a reason only one person's done it. And I'm starting to realize just how much shit you have to do in order to do that sort of legendary feats of strength. Like, I hit a reverse banded squat that was fucking massive. I hit a slingshot bench that was fucking massive. And I had a shitload left in the tank on my deadlift. And I'm not even fucking close to 2,600. So it's like, the amount of respect that you have for a 2,600 total gets astronomically greater the closer you are to it. But I'm going to beat it. No, not this meet, not the next meet. The next meet is my gay meet, and I call it a gay meet because I'm doing a cut. I mean, if you've been following me long enough, you know that I've got 6-month bodyweight swells and cuts, where every 6 months I bulk to about 260. I'm 263 right now, so I'm like at the perfect point, like 265. Next meet I might be 370. Did I say 260? I'm in 360. And then my cut, I get down to 320s. And then I go back up to 360s, 320, 360, 320, hopefully doing a recomposition, giving me better leverages specifically for deadlifts, but having me maintain a certain amount of mass so that I don't shoot myself in the foot when it comes to both squats and bench. because that's a major problem that a lot of people have when they do cuts, is they cut and they never get back up. And they're like, why did my squat and bench die? You don't have the mass to control the whip anymore. You're not used to controlling as much whip as you have. So there's that. And my next meet, which is, I call it my gay meet because I'm cutting. I'm doing it in sleeves because Dan Bell peer pressured me. He's like, every other meet you should do in sleeves. And third of all, I'm probably going to do a 12-pound water cut. Get to 320, cut to 308, do it in sleeves, and then pop back up to 360s for if the American Pro 4 happens. But I just got to the gym. I'm going to overlay. I literally only have 2 exercises to do today. It's a super light day. It's 3x2, I think, squat at 450-ish, and a 3x1, 315 deadlift. That's all I got today. I got my pre-fatigue work, my priming work, which is just roller coasters, get my knees primed in order to take the loads for squats and not want to like decapitate myself. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at today, mentally, and what's going through my head today. Tomorrow, it's election day. Got to go vote. Voting's important. I feel like as an influencer online, it would be irresponsible of me to share who I'm going to vote for. So I'm not going to. I hate when predominant people try to convince other people to think like them, because I respect that each person is an individual and they've got their own opinions. And just because someone's a sheeple doesn't mean that they can't make the right choice. I'm not going to be the shepherd of them because I'm not going to take responsibility for people being the fucking dumbasses that they are. Anyways, I'm going to go train. Hopefully it's going to take me 30 minutes because I want to get back and watch a movie with my nephews. So it's 7 o'clock. It's time to, 7 o'clock, go suck on my cock. Pow pow. All right, boys. It is Tuesday, election day, about 7:45. So the polls have started to come in, and so I'm checking that on and off throughout the day, or rather, throughout the rest of the day, to kind of check on to see how much the world is going to go into the crapper or not. But enough about that. Today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days out from the American Pro 3. This video is a little weird because I'm always used to having to do a little bit of an intro, but with all these spliced together, I just get to jump right into it and be like, hey boys, how we doing mentally today? And so training yesterday, we had squats and deadlifts, and I displaced or dislocated a rib, and I feel it poking in my back, and it's not very fun. And I got that from squatting 1041 the other day, and that was not fun. I mean, the squat was fun, and I was going to go up to 500 kilos, but if I have any sort of tweakage going on, I'm not going to load that much onto my back, especially when loading the shit onto my back is why it got the way that it is, because the form was perfect, the cues were firing, there was no I wanted to say anterior tilt, because that's a lot of words, like a lot of syllables in words, and it makes me sound smart, but I don't actually know what that means. I read a lot, or rather I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and something that happens when you do that is you end up developing vocabulary and context for vocabulary that is larger than you actually know, which is a little spooky. So it's like you can talk and you're like, man, I don't know the word for what I'm trying to say, but I have enough subconscious context in order to it's almost like learning not learning a new language, but it's almost like learning the language that you've been speaking at a higher level, because or like how people just say that they learn old or other languages by just immersifying themselves in the language and learning it contextually that way. Yeah, that's basically. I got off track there. How are we doing today? So squats and deadlifts the other day. I was a little nervous because squats previously got me into that little bit of a pickle, and I've been recovering from the displaced or dislocated or whatever it is rib out in cahoots, throwing a little bit of a toddler tantrum in my back. It's only happened once before, and what I thought it was last time was so at the American Pro 2, the American Pro 2, I squatted 1,003, and I basically good morninged it. And I thought it was a herniated disc in the middle of my back because I folded the fuck forward. But I brought it back, and I completed the lift. That burnt the fuck out of me. And I knew that I shouldn't have gone up. I was in the back prepping, and the way that I wind myself up on meet day, I was listening to music, and I was just shaking and shivering, and I was crying. Could not control it, just crying. And yeah, you get yourself that wound up emotionally, and then you burn yourself out like that, and you've got no chance completing anything else that day. I was burnt the fuck out. I probably could have done 1025 that day if I had better form. And that is exactly what we did this entire year. We worked on my squat form. So a lot has gone on in my training to make my squat leaps and bounds better. And so what we were talking about learning a new language contextually, and it kind of like sneaking into your vocabulary. And I mean, I could just start throwing around polysyllabic words, and grossifying your lexicon due to the expanded vocab or whatever. Not trying to whip my dick out, my English dick. But it's spooky when you learn stuff like that. And that's where I'm at mentally. It's spooky that I'm where I'm at, where the only thing going on is something that isn't really an injury. And it's not an overuse kind of grinding away either. Like the bursitis in my elbow, we took a step back with accessories on the tricep, allowed ourselves to recover a bit. That feels way better. The only thing going on right now is the rib tantrum. And so we'll have a PT able to basically climb up a ladder and power bomb my back to fix it before the meet. And we'll also have access to a PT at the meet to help ensure when inevitably it happens again. And it will happen again at the meet, because it's the weight and we're loading up more. Yeah. So I warmed up yesterday. I didn't warm up. I took the bar, and then I took 450, and that first 450 felt like garbage. The second one felt better, and by the third one, I was like, all right, everything feels good. And then I checked my back, and I was like, nothing hurts. I am the strongest man in the entire universe. I am indestructible. And we deadlifted. Everything was good. Nothing hurt. And I was like, cool, this is awesome. And then went to bed and woke up, and going to bed, it was like, I'm still here a little bit. It's just it's basically I have to warm my back up a little bit extra in order to make sure that I don't have the pain and stuff. It'll like jostle it back into place enough that it's not intruding on myself. But having that experience yesterday with such light weights, gave me a little bit more, I don't want to say confidence, but more comfort level with going into this meet with the, not injury, but discomfort, and knowing when I feel this discomfort, what it actually is, and not to freak the fuck out and panic. Because it's a solvable thing. I've solved it in the past. I just haven't had anyone heavy enough jump on me. Yeah, that's all it's going to take. So it's spooky. It's almost like being strong snuck up on me. And we're going from being an okay lifter, no one really knows who I am, to potentially doing some legendary stuff. And it's kind of spooky. But I talked about how that is. And I'm calmer today than I was yesterday. Yesterday I was a little wound up because I hadn't done that squat, so I hadn't felt weight on my back since the 1041. So we got our bench day today. I probably already overlaid the videos. It's nothing spectacular. We're just doing motion is lotion. Tomorrow is an off day. I'll give you a little bit of an update on that once I get to it. But yeah, my HRV is going up. My sleep scores are going up. My resting heart rate is going down. So all things are good. And I did not have any heartburn yesterday or today. So things are turning up pretty good. And it's getting a little bit exciting. I don't feel excited yet though. I feel like once I arrive, I'm just gonna clench up like a like your mom's pussy whenever I'm around. No, that's called being wet. Anyways, you know what I mean. I'm basically gonna, like, yeah, it's gonna finally hit me that I'm competing, hopefully. But we just got to the gym, and I want to be in and out as fast as possible, do some therapeutic work, stretch out the chest, foam roll a bit, and then I've got to do about 70 minutes of cardio, just so I hit my 10,000 steps for the, not 70 minutes, but we're gonna, I've got 7,000 steps left. Once I finish training, I check the Fitbit to see how many steps I have to do afterwards. It's probably going to be like 50 minutes. I get about 1,000 steps a minute, not minute, every 10 minutes. So if I need 5,000 steps, that's 50 minutes. And that's how that math works out. But let's go do it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with my last day at home before we peace the fuck out and go to Winchester, Virginia. I will see you, boys and girls. Actually, I haven't had any females watching these videos recently. It's weird. When I talk about fucking your mom more, I get more views, but no females watch the videos. So, do with that information what you will. Patty out. I thought I had a cat. No, wait, dog. Boys. This little guy. Being a pain in my tuchus. This is the last day I'm with him before the meet. So, no yelling, sir. No, sir, no. He just wants to. There's not even anything out there. He's just yelling to yell. All right, boys. It is, what day is today? Today is Wednesday. My last day at home before I head out to the American Pro 3. I already did a little bit today. I gave myself a haircut and I took a shower. If you guys think that I'm gonna show you guys a shower and it not be on OnlyFans, y'all are high. If you're ever gonna get that naked for people online, might as well make a couple bucks for it, you know? Right. Not that anyone wants to see that. But what we're doing today, we don't have a training day. We do have to get our 10,000 steps for the day because motion is lotion and recovery is important for being big, strong, girthy. And if I'll pull out in front of that. So we're gonna be doing everything that we should do before a meet today. So we're prepping for meet day. This means packing up, getting a haircut, boom, bada bing, bada boom, like my Patriots hat. Love the chew and everything else that they're doing this year. Definitely, totally the first year of rebuilding that they're doing. You know, Patriots got spoiled because Tom Brady could make literally anyone look good. And now they have no idea how to look at a receiving core and make good judgment calls onto who to draft and all that stuff and how to utilize players in the manner that they should be utilized. I bet if the Patriots had Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, they'd be pretty terrible because the Patriots have no idea how to properly use offensive weapons like that. But today's not about football. Today's about powerlifting. This whole week's about powerlifting. Yesterday was election day. So for those of you who don't follow the United States politics, the political sphere, Donald Trump won the election. The way that U.S. politics goes on is weird. It's it's like he's won, but he hasn't yet. It's the way that things break down is it's not entirely one-to-one popular vote, so that cities don't get too much influence, but they break down the amount of votes for what's called the Electoral College based on population of each state. So it kind of does break down to how many people each state has. I think Rhode Island has 2 or 3 votes, where California has 54 votes. So the popular election that went on yesterday is basically like, hey, the people voted for this. We want our electoral college to vote the same way, but they don't have to. So it's not really, it's very rare that the it's almost never happened where the electoral college doesn't vote in favor of the person who won the not popular vote, but they don't vote the way that their constituents chose to vote. So that's a little lesson in United States politics for those of you out there. They try to I don't know. It's a convoluted process, but we're going to the store. We've got to pick up our meat stuff. We've got to pick up, well, by meat stuff, I mean stuff that we have to use in preparation for the meat. So that's going to be stuff like Imodium to make sure I don't shit myself on the platform. And I say don't shit myself on the platform. It's not just the platform, it's like the 3 days afterwards. Make it so hard to shit yourself on the platform that it just doesn't happen for a couple days afterwards. And that's the key to success, boys. It's first time I heard of doing this was before I was even with Greg Panora. What was that? Like 8 years ago, where the old school method was take magnesium citrate and shit yourself down to whatever weight class you go to, along with water cuts and everything. And then you pound a bottle of Imodium to cork up and clog up your system, so that you don't keep shitting yourself. Because that magnesium citrate is a not diuretic, but it's a laxative, and then Imodium is an anti-diarrheal. So it's almost like taking an old school Four Loko and seeing whether or not you pass out and you end up like basically on bath salts. Drugs in America are cool. Love the freedom of choice that we have when it comes to how we cope with the depression of actually living here. But nowhere is better. The whole world is going to, But, so we're going to pick up the Imodium. We're also going to pick up some of our meat day snacks. Brianni Terry has had I've got some cold snacks that I'm supposed to eat on meat day, and that's going to be Uncrustables and orange juice, just as sources of carbohydrates to keep me fueled. But I can't grab them right now because I'm driving down tomorrow. That's like an 8 or 9 hour drive, where I'll be listening to audiobooks and I'll be chatting you guys up every now and then as my mentality and whatnot do whatever it feels like doing. So but I'm gonna pick up the gummy bears. The only time where I actually fall into the powerlifting meme of eating gummy bears while lifting is on meat day, because I'm not a fucking child. But gummies are a very, very fast source of carbohydrates, just short of consuming just handfuls of sugar. And I need those carbohydrates. I might be steaming in like 70 to 80 degree weather after squats. And that means that my cells, at the cellular level, the mitochondria are working super hard, and we're getting some sort of thermogenetic response to the stimulus of squatting, and my cells are overheating, so I might actually need ice on meat day to cool my internal body temperature down, because my body temperature might spike up towards like 110 just based on everything. So we'll see how that goes on meat day. And I've decided to post this video on November 8th, which is tomorrow. No, that's not tomorrow. Today is the 6th, tomorrow's the 7th, and then the 8th is weigh-in day. So after I'm done weighing in and everything, and I'm getting all my food inside of me, I'm gonna post this before bed. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to edit. It's gonna be a crap edit job. Enjoy yourselves. But we're getting gummy bears, Pedialyte, Imodium. Basically, I'm just trying to stay out of the house today, keep myself moving and grooving, just so I don't vegetate and just get into this, like, not depressive, but like overly intense. I'm distracting myself, leading into the meat, because it's what I need. I'm gonna pick up some Gatorade powder, because I'm supposed to have dextrose powder, but dextrose powder is super expensive, so I don't get that. I get Gatorade powder, and then I use that in place of dextrose in my intra-training, it's not even a protein shake, but my intra-set carbs. On meat day, I throw that in with my orange juice. So I'm gonna have icy blue orange juice, and that's gonna freak some people out. Absolutely nobody, because like, if you get into the back room of a high-level powerlifting meet, just don't be surprised by anything ever. We're not normal. We're not average people. We do disgusting things. Don't judge us, because by you judging us, we are judging you for being small. Get on our level. But anyways, I'm coming up on Walmart. Turns out I live 10 minutes away from Walmart. This is a cool bit of information that I'm learning just today. I think that's all I got to pick up. I kind of got to poop. Oh, I got to get travel snacks. So I'm going to pick up some Gatorade protein bars to eat while I'm on my way to Winchester, Virginia. Gatorade protein bars. I go with the chocolate caramel one. They're not good, but they're better than nothing. And if I'm gonna be eating, it's like, wow, when you travel to somewhere for a meet, you gotta stay kind of strict with your diet, because rest stops are really easy to get off track and end up causing yourself indigestion. Like was it last year or the year before? I stopped off at a rest stop in Delaware and I got some Popeyes shrimp, and I pooped myself for like 2 days straight. It was awful. Have I had Popeyes since? No, I haven't. It was just that traumatic of an experience. That traumatic. But yeah, you want to avoid that stuff as much as possible. But it's also hard because you don't want to drink too much, because you want to just get down there. You want to get down to business to defeat the Huns, but you don't want to stop every 20 minutes because you're peeing. So, yeah. But we've arrived, and I'm gonna give you guys little updates while I fill up my cart. Oh, I also got to get my cereal, my pre-training cereal. So I'm gonna do that stuff too. I don't have a written list as to what I need to get. I'm just thinking on my toes while I'm doing this. Yeah. You know what? A store that's really Bass Pro Shops, and like you go inside there, and a wilderness exhibit at the zoo. It's cool, and they got a big fish wall, and like they say you can bring your dog in, but I can't bring Buddy in because he yells at every other dog, and if there's another dog, he's gonna get kicked out. But it's like every time I see it, and I'm like, I want to go inside there. It's so fun and cool in there. But I know I haven't been able to. I know they have thermoses that I'm gonna need when I go into my cut, because it keeps the tea warm. And I don't have anything that keeps my coffee warm right now, because I just do cup by cup and then I microwave it. But going into tea, yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna stop procrastinating so I can actually do what I'm supposed to do today. Travel day today. We drove from Manchester, New Hampshire, all the way to Virginia. What town am I in? Winchester, Virginia. And so it was supposed to be a 9-hour drive, but you know how traffic is. It says 9 hours, but you know that inevitably something's gonna go wrong. Usually other people on the road getting into accidents and stuff. So it was actually closer to 12 hours. So I made it to the Airbnb. Here's where we're at. Got a nice little cute little spot with a little kitchen thing. And you got the fan in the bathroom going on because weigh-ins are tomorrow. So of course I took a poop. And cute little bedroom in here. And that's the entire Airbnb. Honestly, it's like it's kind of funny every time I go to an Airbnb and I'm like, wow, I could live in this full time. I could live in half this space full time and be happy about it. I don't even need this living room area place. If I have the bedroom and a kitchen, I'm set. I'm golden. I mean, I gotta have a bathroom and a shower too, but that's really all I look for. But I got to my Airbnb and at around 8, so I guess it was 11 hours of driving rather than 12. But my coach, Joe Sullivan, he's staying with Justin Zottel. And so they were like, hey, you want to come over? And Justin gave me the address last week. And I was like, cool. I know that our Airbnbs are about 10 minutes apart. That's actually pretty cool. Fantastical. Now I know where to send a pineapple pizza at 3 in the morning the night before meet. Because Justin Zottel's from Ontario, Canada. And if you know anything about New England and Canadian hockey teams, the Boston Bruins, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Montreal Canadiens, is when it comes to playoff time, all three teams get into weird shenanigans when it comes to hotels. Like, it gets crazy where they'll go to a hotel and they'll get like an entire pizza shop worth of pizza sent to the players' rooms in the middle of the night before a game. Or they'll have the fire alarm go off in the middle of the night before a game. Stuff like that. They just mess with each other. So I told Justin, I was like, yeah. But so I'm like, yeah, I'm only 10 minutes away. I'm gonna pick up my dinner, which according to the meal plan is 2 bagels, jelly. My arms are heavy, sorry. And a protein shake. So I hooked that up, and I punched the address in, and I arrive at the meet venue. Justin sent me the meet venue as his Airbnb address, and I'm like, Justin, this is not the address that you gave me was the meet venue. The venue looks cool, but it's not where I'm supposed to be right now. He's like, oh, sorry, that was high when I sent you that. So I spent a lot of tonight with the team. Justin has his PT, the athletic white buffalo homie. I think that's his name on Instagram. And I was making my bagel, and I was mentioning, I was like, I just need someone to step on me. And Joe was like, have Bree step on you. And then Matt, Justin's massage therapist, PT guy, was like, I can look at you. So he busted out the massage table. He worked on me a bit, and it was funny watching because Justin and Joe were eating Oreos watching Matt work on me. And Matt's just like, I can't understand what's going on with your back. I don't know what's going on. Like, are you doing this when you're training? Are you doing this? And Joe goes, oh, he squatted 1041 in training. And he goes, oh, it's high compression. I thought I had 1 rib out of place. I had 3, maybe 4 ribs out of place. So he worked him. He did a massage. He did some twisty chiropractic stuff. He gave me some cupping. And then once Joe was like, here's what caused it, he was like, oh, get on the floor. So I get on the floor. Nice. Justin got a nicer Airbnb. I mean, you got Justin's wife, Sarah, Sarah's homie. I don't actually know Sarah's last name, and I feel bad that I should know. Sarah's also competing in raps. But, and Joe and Bree, same Airbnb. They invited me, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about being in the same Airbnb as my competitor the night before a meet. They're because they were like, do you have an air mattress that you could bring down? And I was like, I'm not gonna sleep on an air mattress the night before a meet. That's just not gonna happen. So I got my own Airbnb, and so they got a nice Airbnb, like pretty much a smart home, and it was nice and fancy. But yeah, Matt hooked me up. I feel really good. I was like, I feel taller. I feel like I can just get under a bench and without warming up, take a hey, Justin, what's your bench max? Joe's like, God damn it, Patrick. You're not supposed to be this mean. And I'm like, there's like 2 or 3 more days of this Patrick left. And then we're going back to normal Patrick. Normal, autistic Patrick. Not overly confident, super serial killer in the zone Patrick. But driving down, it wasn't too bad. Last year, when I was driving down, I had my vagus nerve stuck on, which made things very interesting. Every time I would poop or every time I would see some side boob, my heart rate would go to 200. And it was nice this time knowing that, no, that's not going to happen. And I don't feel sick. I don't feel like I'm going to die. I'm not having a panic attack. I can't. Last time, I had to read every single sign out loud, diaphragmatically breathe, meditate, and I could only listen to certain music, vagus nerve calming music, certain hertz frequency on the drive down. So I'm feeling way better this time. And Matt hooked me up, made my back feel way better. It went from me barely being able to pinch my scaps and get my rib cage down to not being completely 100% back in the thick of it, as KSI would say, but in a pretty good spot, to say the least. So, it's about midnight. I took a poop. I gotta take my nighttime suppies, and I got them in a nice little, yeah, it's my hand, nice little GNC bag. Got my ZQL. Weigh-ins are tomorrow at 2:30-ish. 2:30-ish. So I figure might as well, I mean, if it's noon now, take enough ZQL to put me to sleep for about 12 hours. Or 10 to 12 hours, so that I can wake up, roll out of bed, shower, of course, dry off, make sure I'm not adding water weight to the body, because we're going for a coefficient this time. If I weigh in 5 pounds lighter, I still have to lift the same amount of weight to break the all-time DOTS world record. So it literally doesn't matter. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna, we'll do that. Roll out. Go to the meet where we're gonna weigh in. Make sure I'm the loudest person there, complaining about how tough the cut was, and then go, whew, I made weight. 365 or 360, whatever it is. I don't have my scale with me. I don't know what I'm weighing out the night before, because I'm fucking super heavy. I'm a super heavy. I have fun at these meets. Next meet, I'm probably all this shit talking that I'm doing about water cuts and weight cuts. Years and years of me being like, it's probably going to come back to bite me in the ass when I do my next meet, because the way that the plan is looking, my light meets are in the spring. My heavy meets are in the fall. My heavy meets I do in wraps. And I'm at my heaviest body weight, as heavy as Brianni will let me be, which is 360s. She will never let me be in the 370s or 380s for that, unless I have visible abs, which I don't. Yeah, I don't. I mean, you never know with the body recomps. Could pop up where we eventually get there, but it's less a visual and body composition thing than the body's capacity to withstand such drastic changes like that, where you've got to have the resting heart rate at a good spot, somewhere below 85. That is if your resting heart rate is above 85, you are in a very, very bad spot. Your heart is about to pop, basically. Highest it got in this prep was 82, because I did 6 weeks of being sick in a row. The moment I came, because I was subbing at the preschool, the moment I stopped, my resting heart rate dropped to 73. So your work and your health, very, and your capacity to do things very tied in together. My resting heart rate today was 73. A little higher than I'd like to be, but it's about where it was at last year, at 352. So add about 10 pounds and be at a similar health level, and we're doing pretty good. But I wanna get to sleep now. I hope I gave you guys enough check-in for today. I didn't really video anything because I drove forever. It would have just been the road lighter and then darker, and then we were here. But the back roads of West Virginia, the dirt roads of West Virginia, those are interesting. I thought New Hampshire back roads were fun. I didn't have an e-brake, so I didn't have full fun. Also, I'm in a Prius, Toyota Prius, because my dad let me take his car. My car, I drive a Honda Civic. I get about 50 miles per gallon in long road trips like this. My dad has a hybrid Toyota Prius, getting about 75 miles per gallon. So, two factors that increased MPG and not putting 1,000 extra miles onto my car. Anyone under 25 is not going to understand why that matters. But it does. It's a significant thing. Because of depreciation and wear and tear on your car. But yeah. So I was not as comfortable in my dad's car than I am in my car. On my car, I can drive for 16 hours straight and be good. This car, it was like, I was at like hour 8 and I was like, eh. And the charging ports were a little, because it was a 2017 Toyota Prius where they did something messy with the USB ports. And it was, my car, I have Android Auto, so basically, and the Toyota Prius didn't have Android Auto, so I basically had to do all the navigation off my phone, which was just in my lap, which not cool. That's not cool. Android Auto lets it just go up on the display, so that's super cool. That's how I do my Uber Eats. I just got the display up, and I rarely look at my phone unless I'm accepting or rejecting orders when I do Uber Eats. But I've got maybe 1 week of Uber Eats left, and then I start my career, where I start off with a 2-year locked-in contract with my new job, and we'll see where that goes. Hopefully, by the time I get out of this contract, I can go somewhere cool, like Vegas or something, and start a contract there, or somewhere where I can buy a house or land to build a house. And by build a house, I mean build a yurt with my own 2 hands. But yeah, all this talking gave me a little bit of a headache, so I'm gonna go to sleep. And I've got 3 Pedialytes in the car, so I'm gonna be well hydrated while hydrating with a IV right after weigh-ins, because super heavies. I'm gonna say super heavies. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be the last day of this check-in, so stay tuned to see where I'm at the night before the American Pro, and hopefully I can post this the night before the American Pro, so that you guys can see where I'm at mentally, and then you'll see how it goes on the platform. So see you there. It's the morning of weigh-ins. We got the IPL drug tested nationals on the TV, because that's going on today. Sophia's competing there. My snack bitch. And then she's flying out tonight to be in Virginia for the American Pro to help me out. She decided that she was going to help out. So we are, I don't know why I'm trying to show you the bathroom, but every poop before you weigh in on weigh-in day is optimal. So getting that daily schedule in, making sure that you poop every morning, super important. And then we're going to take a shower. We're going to head out to the venue, get some steps in, get our step counts up, because we didn't exactly hit our 10,000 steps for the day yesterday. but hopefully we get at least close to it today. We're not super hung up on steps this week. As for biomarkers, my resting heart rate's the lowest it's been all prep. My HRV is trending up, so everything under the hood is pointing at a massive day tomorrow. So it's getting a little antsy, a little excited. I'm gonna listen to a lot of 538 or 528 hertz music today to try and increase that HRV a little bit more, get that internal resonance going. It sounds like funky voodoo bullshit. It pretty much is funky voodoo bullshit, but for absolutely no fucking reason it works. So I'm not gonna question it. I don't believe in that stuff, but it works. I don't know. It's kind of like if you're a kid and you don't believe in Santa Claus, but you still get presents under the Christmas tree. That's what it feels like. That's exactly what it is. But I gotta poop, and you guys probably don't want to see me poop. Unless you guys have been watching me long enough where I used to show you guys, I used to laugh, giggle to myself every time I would poop on video. And I would hope you guys didn't notice. Sometimes I'd tell you, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna poop and shower. And I get some Dunkin'. Patrick runs on Dunkin'. Dunkin', if you're not gonna watch this, but if anyone sends us to Dunkin', Patrick runs on Dunkin', sponsor me. 90% of my budget is Dunkin'.
All weighed in at 356, which is way lighter than I expected. That'll be good for deadlifts, but detrimental for both bench and squats. But last year I weighed in at 352, so only a 4-pound difference from last year. So we should expect better results if we don't even lean into the fact that we're a much better lifter this year than we were last year. But we got our IV. Yes, post-weigh-in snacks. I ate an entire 50 count of Munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts while I got my IV. But I'm currently at the team Airbnb. Justin Zotto and my coach have, and Bree and a couple other people pitched in and got a big Airbnb. I'm not part of this Airbnb. We're just out here. But they were like, "Hey, do you have an air mattress?" No, I don't want to sleep on an air mattress before the meet. But I think I explained that in yesterday's snippet. But we're going to be game planning in there. Not much game plan to do when it comes to powerlifting, but mostly we're going to be stuffing each other's faces and peer pressuring each other to eat more and more. So American Pro 3, main card, flight 3, end of the... I'm going to be the last person lifting in both squats and bench, and be close to last when it comes to deadlifts. Hopefully bringing home the championship for New England. Prove that I am undoubtedly the king of the North, not Justin. He's the usurper. Not that he'll have an opportunity to usurp, because if he misses one squat, there's no way he's catching up. But I'm going to go eat this. Not much to it. I've been talking a lot of shit today, and I feel good. My back feels good. The ribs feel pretty good. When I got my IV, I stood up and I'm like, oh, I guess I put some Toradol in that because I feel feisty. I feel violent. And Hussam giving us some good cheer while we are being impaled and penetrated by him. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, seeing where I'm at mentally going into the American Pro 3, a whole week's worth of preparatory stuff. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Patty out.